Now, this is something we've been planning for a while. Like, when we first, found out who all the people on Alpha Flight are, it's like, we're a bunch of D&D nerds.
Just role-playing nerds in general.
Yeah. Why don't we do something with that? So, Jacob.
Yeah.
Why don't you take it away? What are we up to?
Well, first, I think we got to play a bumper.
Do we have that bumper?
I don't think that bumper's ready.
That bumper's not ready.
You know what? That bumper's taking a dumper, so why don't we just kick it off with what we're actually doing? We're a bunch of storytellers, dungeon masters, game runners, what have you. Den mothers. Not Den Mother. Sorry.
Game Mother.
Thank you, Game Mother. Thank you. I was like, you're not a...
Keepers.
As far as... Keepers?
Yeah.
What are some of the...
I like the term dungeon manager.
I like dungeon manager.
Dungeon
Manager is really good. I'm trying to remember what...
What's the Shadowrun one?
Oh, God.
Probably D6 Keeper. Just for context for that joke, Shadowrun, one of the original things, was just like bucket OD6.
Full of Ds. Whenever I had to roll Fireball in a game or in a D&D game, I'm like, let me get the Shadowrun dice.
Yeah,
out.
exactly. Friend computer.
Yeah.
So a lot of it, we all like to run games. So we were like, hey, let's all run games for each other. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to play every day. We're going to play a tabletop game. Today is a session 0. Would you like to speak a little bit to the format of what we're doing here, Cameron?
Well, Jacob, the idea is that each of us are going to make a character, and on every day of Alpha Flight, each of us will take a turn running one scenario. About an hour, just a short, quick little thing, and running all of our other friends here through it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. But today is going to be the session 0. So we're actually going to make our characters here. We are using the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rules. We are going to be making our characters live. You all have pens, papers, dice, everything that you need.
I have a PlayStation controller.
Yep.
And someone who can take notes for me.
Okay. So
Looking at Matt meaningfully.
The meaning is the message.
Would you like me to take that over?
No, because you're going to be facilitating.
Okay,
this.
all right.
Yeah, and you also have a character to make.
Yeah.
I do indeed.
Matt, actually, do you have a moment to take over driving? Or
I can do that. I'm going to run and pee before that.
Excellent. Good. Don't run too fast, lest it...
He ran too fast and too greedily, and
I could hear him sloshing.
That's all right. His jeans are so skinny, there's nowhere for it to go. So we're going to be actually creating all of our characters here. We are whoever's running the game is going to be essentially a glorified NPC. Their character is going to be a glorified NPC, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're up to. Johnny.
I'll let Johnny.
Now,
over.
in case you are unfamiliar, we're going to be using the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rules. We're going to make our characters here live with you before you, and if you are unclear as to what or don't know what a session 0 is essentially everybody gets together and kind of decides the kind of game that they want to play. It can involve character creation, do's, don'ts, safety rules. It's going over everything to make sure that everybody feels safe, because it is, at its core, tabletop games are a collaborative storytelling experience. You're all there to tell a story. So it's making sure that everybody's there to get the same kind of story and to hear and participate in the same kind of tale. So I'm going to be the one that is facilitating that. We're going to be going over some safety rules and things. Nothing in this game will, just as a blanket rule, nothing in this game is going to go past what is generally PG. It is going to be like general Desert Bus rules. All right? But here we have all of the players.
Nice. Second one today.
Second crash?
No, second.
Bus
second
stop. Oh,
today.
nice. Oh, well done.
Aren't we talented?
Oh, that is fantastic.
It's a lot easier when I know which buttons to press now.
So we're all going to be making our characters. The characters can come from, the way that we have this game set up, the characters can come from anywhere essentially in the prime material plane, the basic plane of Dungeons & Dragons. It can come from different worlds. It can encompass just about everything. So we're not going to be trying to bring in a Shadowrun character from, using the Shadowrun system. We're going to be using the basic 5th edition, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rules. All right.
But say we could
Yes.
have a Loxodon from Ravnica.
You absolutely could have a Loxodon from Ravnica. We are not going to be, we've all agreed ahead of time, we are not going to be setting any limits on species or culture. You can come from generally like everywhere, and we're going to figure it out because we are going to be passing the game off of from one to the other to the other to the other so that we can all run a game for each other. And if you'll notice and you count the number of days, we have exactly the number of DMs that we need, which is a true statement.
Absolutely.
Yep, 100%.
100%.
Yep.
Yes. So, before we start, let's talk about safety rules, okay? So the ones that I would like to introduce for this game, that I would like all of us to agree on, if we do agree on, you can talk, yes, no, you can tell me how you're feeling. That is totally cool. We have Matt taking notes.
Why would I
Yes.
do that when Kathleen is right there taking notes for herself?
Yeah.
Would you mind taking notes for the overall campaign for us as players and not for the
Characters.
themselves? Would
Great,
that be
lovely, I'll
acceptable?
do that.
I'm asking if you wouldn't mind doing that. Your blank smile tells me maybe you're not. I don't know how to read your face right now.
I will attempt to do a good job to do that thing.
Okay, excellent. Beautiful. Thank
yes,
you very much.
and
Thank you, Matt. It should not be a long list of things, but one of the things that I like to do when I run my games
I think.
is, yeah, you absolutely should, 100%. Here, scooch on over.
This is the correct way to play
There we
a
go.
role-playing game. Just everybody crammed
Yeah,
into
just
a basement.
just
Yeah,
into a
everybody in
basement
one line.
onto one line.
Yep.
This is weird DMing for all of you and facing this way. That's odd. Well, let's do it. So, one of the things that I really like to do are lines and veils. Okay?
Yep.
So, a line is a hard line, something that cannot be in the game. 110%. So, is there anything below a PG setting that you don't want included in anybody's game? Up to and including spiders, anything like that. Like concepts. Yes.
I don't know if this is like above or below a PG line.
Sure.
But like references to self-harm.
References to self-harm are right out. Excellent. That is a wonderful line. Nobody's going to mention any of that. Yes?
Child abuse.
No child abuse. Fantastic. Cameron?
I'm good with it all.
You're good with it all. All right,
Okay.
fantastic. Same as Cameron, I'm generally good for everything. So, veils are things that you are okay with, but you don't want any detail on. So it's essentially a fade to black. It's something that's behind a curtain, because there are different ways to go about that. You don't have to describe how an airship crashes into a town. You can just say that it happens without actually describing or going into detail about the effects and that scene. Okay? So, anybody have any veils, things that they're like kind of, meh. Like generally fine with it being in the game, but like don't go into detail.
Sex.
Sex? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yep. I mean
Yep.
that's pretty much right out. Any fade to black. Okay. So no romance between how about romance between characters?
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, just no bumping uglies.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, great. Or pretties, whatever
Exactly.
it is looks like. What's that?
Overlay says cuddle,
A cuddle, yes, boning, no. Yes, got it. All right. Just external, no internal. Got it. So, what? That's bones. Bones are inside.
Yes,
What were
yes,
you all
yeah.
thinking? Dirty minds, how dare you?
keep the bones
This is a family
inside.
show. So, how about with that? Then we also have the X card, which I like very much.
Sorry, Joe wrote no Bones Day, and I.
Oh my God, no Bones Day. Very good.
I'm sorry. Please repeat.
No, totally good. Another rule that I really like to use is the X card. Pretty much if we get to or hit anything that you are uncomfortable with or do not like, boom, X. Not necessarily, this should not be abused. Like, my character took 18 points of damage, X card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, don't be a jerk about it. But the X card is any content that comes up against something that we may not have thought of or gone over ahead of time. Hit that, then we immediately stop and we go back and we take the scene again. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to explain a flippant thing about it. You just boom, X, done. You can point at the little mark. We have an X on the floor. It's pink. Yep. It's great.
Pink
you just
X.
point at it, and then we immediately take the scene back and take it in a different direction without that content.
If I may, Jacob.
Yes.
Just a note on this for people who I also like to explain this as this can even be something that you're okay with at other times. Sometimes it's just like right now in this moment I am not comfortable with this. No.
That is absolutely correct. And nobody goes like, but you're okay with but how about No, you respect the boundary. That's it. And everybody is agreed with these rules and likes them and commits to using them, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Perfect. I do as well, because I'll be playing in some things. Okay? So, lines, veils, X card. And we're going to point. That's the motion. Everybody, yeah, there we go. We have demonstrated that we all understood, and we get that, and we respect the boundary. Great. So now, character creation rules. We're going to use a point array instead of rolling random dice, unless that's what you'd like to do. And just roll random numbers and end up with just some banana sandwich stats.
Yep.
What would you like to do?
I'll take the array.
Take the array?
Because I'm in
Yeah, I'll take the array.
Take the array, take the array,
array.
take the
Min-max
array.
that thing.
Excellent. What's
It's-
that? Yeah.
The array is
Min-max?
15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8?
I think so. I'm going to look it up. I don't have it
I
memorized.
bet chat will tell us in a second.
I think it's probably in this book that I'm looking at right now.
You think a bunch of nerds on the internet are going to tell us things?
15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8.
There you
I think
go.
Cam
Yeah.
was right. Okay.
Cameron
Wow,
was
well done.
correct.
Yeah, I love the standard
Per
array.
Yeah, we're going to use the standard array. There is no limit on species. Any book that you have available for character creation is fair game. Up to and including the optional rules in Tasha's and Mordenkainen's.
We
if you
literally
wish.
have them all right here.
Yeah, they're all right there. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
That is a lot of
You've got the collector's. Oh my. Okay. Nope. You're running a game, dude. So, what kind of characters do you want to play? You don't have to say like race or anything like that. Let's start. Can I sit on the floor and face
Yes.
everybody? Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Great.
Actually, if you sit on an off angle, then we can spread out here, and then you can mostly face us, but then we can get a shot of you with Kevin somehow, right? And then we can have a face shot of Jacob, and then a shot of us
Cool.
as well.
Where do I sit?
I think Kevin's moving, so you sit there because you
There,
can
look at
listen,
that.
and then
Hey.
they'll figure it out. So now they can see your face up
the
there.
camera Kevin?
Yeah.
that's Kevin.
Okay.
You've
For a
discovered
split second,
Cameron.
I was like, I have gotten Johnny's name wrong this entire time, and I feel terrible.
No, Kevin's up there in the sky, tracking
Okay.
our every movement. Amen.
My goodness. Oh, that is good stuff. Hey, there's a chair right here, Jacob. Sit down.
Oh yeah, if you sit in the chair.
Can I sit in this chair?
Absolutely.
All right. This is going to be the GM chair.
Oh, we already have it. We already have a camera tracked to that chair as well.
Great. Beautiful.
Thanks, Kathleen. You made that more
Fantastic.
complicated.
Hey, nobody in this room has ever made things more complicated needlessly, I'm sure. Yeah. Hey,
What
Joe.
the point
What's
am I
up, buddy? Okay. So, let's start as far as character creation, group character creation goes. Does anybody have a strong concept they really want to go with?
I have one.
Yes.
I said, could I be, but you could be a Loxodon from Ravnica. I thought, I have a Loxodon from Ravnica rattling around. I would like to be a teenage Loxodon from a rural part of Ravnica named Bepis, who is bored and is looking for new experiences because he has a keen interest in science fiction literature.
Marvelous.
Okay.
What counts as science fiction literature on Ravnica? And can you give, in 20 words or less, the Ravnica setting for those that may not know?
Okay. Ravnica is an
Have you played this character before?
No, but it's an NPC from a game I've run, and I thought
Fantastic.
I found him quite a scintillating character, and he went from just giving information to coming along with the party.
As is the way.
Yes. Anyhow, Bepis is an unaligned. Okay, so wait. Ravnica is an ecumenopolis, where the whole plane is a giant city, and the Ravnica book takes place on it's called the 10th district of the city. And so I figured if there's a 10th district, it therefore follows there must be a 9th, an 8th,
Yeah.
a 7th, and eventually very far away from anything interesting that happens or any of the power decision-making trees or any of the excitement or the perks of living in a large city. You have the suburbs of said city where they grow food, and it's not quite as built up and as exciting, but technically you still live within the city limits.
Okay.
And that is the 6th district. And
Okay.
he lives on the far bordered edge of the 6th district, right on the edge of something called the Rubble Belt, where basically it's collapsed and fallen over and gone back to nature.
Okay.
So this is as rural as you can get. It is basically a rural setting. And he works part-time at the Perianda Tourist Information Booth, where very few people come out unless it is for the annual Apple Festival.
Excellent.
It is Apple Festival off-season, and he mostly sits there reading science fiction books. Which in
Excellent.
the context of Ravnica is probably like, I guess probably the normal fiction books we'd read here, honestly.
Marvelous. Okay.
There's no magic. There's no fantastical things or giant monsters. It's all deep internal feelings and, using computers.
Okay. That sounds wonderful. And a Loxodon is, for those that may not know?
It is an elephant race.
An elephant race. Perfect. Excellent. I like that concept very much. Is anybody else from Ravnica? Or do you have another stronger concept from somewhere else? I'm only asking in terms of, does anybody know this person that Kathleen just described ahead of time? Nope. Okay.
So I was actually thinking I might want to play a character that I've played before, also as well.
Okay.
But not on the internet. This was a character I played for a home game.
Perfect.
She is a young gnome wizard, College of Illusion.
Okay.
Her name is Waywocket Horcusporcus.
Delightful.
And she's kind of just a prankster.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Could you please define prankster?
She is the kind of person that will she wants to she always has a plan for something.
Okay.
And her plans are very complicated. And if she can get away with something without fighting anybody, great.
Okay.
And if there's somebody that has annoyed her, she will have some complicated plan to make their life she's going to set up a practical joke for them.
Okay.
Something fairly inconsequential, but just be like,
Got it. In order to laugh at them or no?
to bring him down a peg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does she? I'm sorry. She?
She.
Does she want the target to know that it's her?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Got
Yes.
it. Okay. Does her want of that sometimes get the better of her?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Lovely. And the class you'll be playing?
Wizard. College of Illusion.
College of Illusion. Oh, and we're all going to be starting at level 4, by the way.
Yes.
Your class?
Bepis's family is aligned with the Azorius Guild, so they're all about laws and rules and doing things. So he's probably a paladin.
Okay.
Maybe not enthusiastically, but that's what his family does.
Okay. Is that going to be fun for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
All right.
don't
Great.
care.
All right. Excellent. Fantastic. Wonderful. Excellent. Cameron.
I was thinking of a tiefling rogue
Okay.
Okay.
who is curious and definitely not into the whole tieflings are evil thing.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. Alignment will barely come into play.
Yeah, no. Somebody who is open and curious and exploratory
Okay.
and
You pass me one.
not necessarily the best understanding of personal possessions.
Okay. Understood. All right.
Comes from a culture where maybe, if somebody has something, then that is just shared.
Okay.
A lot of communal identifications.
Okay. Where do they come from?
The concept of a plane would be a new idea to him.
It's a new idea to most. For us as players, it's
Yeah.
fairly ubiquitous, like, of course, there's planes, ha ha ha. But to anybody below level 16 or anything, yeah.
I might actually just Shanghai him for my homebrew setting,
Okay,
which is called Aten.
okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, then Aten, and character's name again, I'm sorry?
Waywocket Horcusporcus.
Waywocket Horcusporcus. Cannot believe I forgot that. Waywocket Horcus. A nickname? Is there a nickname associated?
Her friends call her Wocket out of necessity.
Wocket. Understood. Okay. Does she have friends?
Yes.
Okay, and therefore has a nickname. Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so Paladin, Rogue.
Rogue.
Okay, Rogue,
Wizard.
Wizard. Excellent.
She's from Waterdeep. She's just from Faerun.
Just from Faerun, like
Yeah.
Waterdeep. Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Waterdeep has like gnome warrens under it and all that fun stuff. Excellent. I'm also going to play a gnome because I love gnomes. Gnomes are my favorite D&D species. Absolutely my favorite. They're only known as Boom. They're an artificer.
Ah, excellent. Perfect. Boom.
Where's Boom from?
Boom is from Forgotten Realms.
Okay.
Faerun.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Boom. Would you like them to know each other? You can say no. That's totally fine.
Let's go with the no. If nobody else is, it might be nice
Okay.
to just have like four people who don't know each other.
4 people who don't know each other that are all whisked off onto some adventure.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh,
All
I
right.
forgot to mention Waywocket has a familiar.
Waywocket has a familiar.
It's a fox.
It's a fox.
Yeah. Its name is Vulp.
Volp.
Vulp.
Volp. And would you like to play the familiar, or would you like the familiar to be under control of whoever's DMing that day? Or would you like to decide on that day?
Let's decide on that day.
Let's
Let me think about
decide
that.
on that day, and you'll
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Then as far as character creation goes, let's start with, you've got your classes. Let's start with stats. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Sure. Yeah.
Some of this is just going to be heads down writing.
You passed me my phone there.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I am going to, as I am facilitating this, I am going to, I'll make my character later. And we figured level 4 would be interesting because then that's what you get, you get a specialization and then a little bit on top of that. Cameron, one of the toughest questions in character creation,
Yeah.
is your name.
Yeah.
Your character's name.
Isaac.
Isaac?
Yeah.
Any family name or just Isaac?
Let's just go with Isaac for now, and I will come up with a family name later.
Okay.
I realize we've had this plan for weeks, and I've had ample opportunity to answer that question in advance.
That's cool. We're all professionals, and meh, I'm literally just making mine up as I go along, and I'm going to sit down and write them because character creation is one of my favorite things in 5e. I love the system and breaking it. Are you able to? I want to make sure that I'm doing this to your comfort level because there are, numbers and things, and of course we can make them at home, and it's not super important. Can I ask you questions about your character as we are going
Please
along?
do.
Sure.
Sure.
As you're writing things down and whatnot. I don't want to distract you.
I'm just gonna later look at the stats and the abilities is like the least whatever. I'm just gonna look that up later and put it and do it. Whatever are the most, I'm just gonna min-max this character. So whatever the most important stats are will be the highest things. The abilities are whatever seems like it'll be best suited to the party.
What?
Which I'm thinking healing and tanking, considering so everybody else seems
Oh.
very small and squishy.
Oh, we're going for party balance. All right.
I always go for party balance.
Oh, I like that.
I just like playing. I don't care what I play.
That's fair. That is very good.
The mechanics are so secondary to me.
I personally, as far as party balance goes, I don't usually care about that kind of stuff because it's mostly for me. I want to prove how clever I am to figure out what the optimal thing is with whatever the heck that everybody wants to play. So truly, I encourage you, just play whatever it is you want to play. And if you don't care, Paladin it up.
The character, when you said you could be anyone, and that was the first character that popped into my head, and I was like, oh, perfect. And I think
that's great.
I think the character lends itself to somebody who's strong and has a good sense of responsibility because they come from a family where that's been instilled in them.
I think that's great.
I have a rich backstory that I worked out for this character's uncle, so I can extrapolate it to him.
I almost died when I met this character and you introduced him as his name.
And so, what campaign you ran this for? Dice Friends on Loading Ready Run?
This is a very bit character for one episode of the Ravnica campaign that we did called By Law and Order.
Ah, okay.
And the whole point of this character was so I could have my very stern elephant character say, "Yes, let me fetch you my nephew, Bepis."
It went over well with everyone involved.
That is fantastic. So
He deserves more than being a joke.
yes, and 40-minute one-shots is definitely the place for that.
It's going
You're-
on an adventure.
Your character's favorite spell? Wocket?
Wocket.
Thank you. I'm going to ask your character's name several times. I am bad with names. Unless I have it written down. I'm not writing anything down right now. I will have to do that to absorb it. Isaac, Bepis, that's so easy to remember. Bepis, Wocket.
Probably like her. What is her favorite spell?
Yeah.
Actually did it
In like
Yeah.
in one.
out of combat, minor illusion.
Okay.
Just like basic cantrip, uses it all the time.
Beautiful.
In combat, blindness, deafness.
Okay. Excellent.
Because if she can just be like, don't see me, run away.
Okay. Not I'm invisible, but you don't see me. I like that very much. Heck yes. Marvelous. Favorite weapon?
Loxodons are prone to hammers. They like their hammers.
Okay.
So he's probably got a hammer that was passed down. It's not like, he thinks he still wants to go to arts college, so it's not like he's been doing a lot of martial training or anything like that. But Ravnica can be a dangerous place, especially when you live on the outskirts of civilization, a lot of monsters around. So he's got a hammer that he keeps at the tourist information booth to, smack away wildlife and drunk tourists from the city.
All right. I like that. That's really cool. That's great. What is the most treasured item that Isaac has ever stolen?
You wouldn't use stolen, but he's absolutely got his uncle's short bow
Okay.
that he needs to return.
At some point.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Yeah.
And is your uncle aware that the short bow is gone?
Yes.
Is your uncle aware who has it?
Yes.
Is your uncle happy about it?
Could use it back.
How far away is your uncle?
Out of bow shot.
I know one person who I just I lend her books or DVDs or something. I know they're not coming back. Here, I'm gonna lend this to you. Goodbye forever.
One of my favorite moments in any television series is in Battlestar Galactica, the 2006 remake.
Yes.
When two of the characters are talking in one character's office, and he pulls out a couple of books from a shelf because these are people who have lost everything and only a few people have anything left. And the commander at this point, he's on his ship, he's got all of his stuff with him. He's like, here, have a couple of books. And she's like, I'm not really comfortable borrowing these. I don't know when I'll be able to get them back to you. And he's like, never loan books. They're gifts.
I love that line too.
Yeah.
He's Edward James Olmos is so good in that role, but that is such a well-written, just little scene.
Yeah, it's such a good
Encapsulation of his
insight into-
character.
yeah.
Yeah, Edward. This sentence could easily have stopped at Edward James Olmos is so good. Yeah, done. Okay. All right. So ranged melee. What sort of does Isaac fight?
Prefer not to.
Prefer not to.
With that 8 had to go somewhere.
Okay.
So it went into con.
Okay. Excellent.
Always, I love that.
He's got a cough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like,
Little wheeze.
an Edwardian waif.
All right. All right. Good.
He's the kind of person that can run a disappointingly short distance.
Yes.
Yep.
Con is short for Constitution, in case you don't know.
Or in this case, consumption, apparently.
That's very good.
Thanks, chat.
That's fantastic. So we have a rogue, a paladin, a wizard, and an artificer. Let's discuss specializations.
Before we do that,
Yes.
can I ask you a couple questions about Boom?
Absolutely.
Because I'm curious about this too. Yeah. So, like, what is the invention that Boom is best known for?
Oh, a suit that looks like a tiny ogre.
Ooh, okay. Why is that their best known one?
Oh, because they steal things with it.
Okay.
Heists.
Ah, interesting.
Yes.
I like it.
Mostly booze. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. All right, great.
Yep.
Carry on.
And if anybody ever asks them about it, he begins to spin tales about an out-of-control golem running around
Ah.
with a thirst for adventure and ale. What better lubricant, truly, for a golem? Yes. Excellent. Good. Marvelous. Okay, so specializations. How familiar are you with them? Like, for a paladin, it would be your oaths.
Yeah, to be telling you the truth, is that I haven't really planned ahead. I don't know the paladin.
No, that's
specializations
totally
on.
fine. Then I think questions about your character and what they believe is more appropriate.
Yeah.
And then when you look things up later, that might be able to guide you to what you want to pick.
Right.
We'll start with concept, and then you can do rules later. How's that sound?
That sounds perfect.
Excellent. Then, what does your character believe? What sort of justice? Why paladin or why paladin? Like,
Well-
stealing's wrong if it's not from, like, if it's from me, for example.
Well, I mean, I would say that Bepis, living out where he does and having the family that he does, which is like high up in the sort of law and order bureaucrat faction of Ravnica, essentially, but with a little bit of like, practical combat application as well.
Yep.
So these are his family values that have been instilled with him, that you follow the law, that order keeps people safe, that protecting others is the thin line between literal order and chaos, which is we literally live on the border of here.
Yep.
Right? But at the same time, his uncle is actually, despite that being his sort of profession, has always been quite, like, pragmatic about that. So, like, in most Ravnica games, the Gruul, which are the people who live out in the wasteland, are supposed to be, like, these terrible raiders who are, and who will, like, come and wreck your stuff, and, you're supposed to fight them off. But in my setting, it's like, this is more like a collective of psychedelic rock musicians who wish to return to nature and grow as much weed as they want. And you know what? If we live in harmony with them, then everyone's going to have a lot better time and there's going to be more health and prosperity. So, he's got a healthy dose of, like, even my uncle's not a true believer in the letter of the law. I am not a true believer, but it's instilled with him that there are principles. Like, this is your actual, like, this is more like a neutral good than a true lawful good.
Okay.
Just living on the outskirts of civilization, as it were.
Okay. Excellent. That's an excellent answer. Lovely. Why would Isaac go on an adventure? Why would he travel? Why would he leave?
In my setting, tieflings do not necessarily arise because your parents are tieflings. It is like a recessive trait.
Okay.
They just kind of crop up.
Okay.
So maybe that's why. You have a weird baby with horns. That can't be good.
Okay.
And, your parents love you. Your family loves you. But maybe your community makes you feel unwelcome.
Okay.
So maybe it's just time to leave.
All right.
And this is a world of, like, I call it trans-apocalyptic, not post-apocalyptic. It is a world that has gone through some stuff, and there are many places of power yet remaining. There are strange ruins with lots of interesting things in them. There are ways to make the world better, and it is a world with a future. That was the most important thing in my setting,
Okay.
was that it was... When I ran it on Dice Friends, I always do like introductory monologues, like just a couple of minutes long, because I like the sound of my own voice. But the conceit for
So do we.
Yeah.
the conceit
Your voice.
for the monologues for After the Flood, which was what the campaign was called, was that they were excerpts from a history symposium taking place at some point in the setting's future.
Very good. I like that. How does Isaac feel about that future of the world? Does he care?
I think it's coming. Yeah, I think he thinks it's coming.
Okay.
That the reminders of a different world are all around you.
Okay.
And that years ago I read a book called Time, I think it was called Time Travel by James Gleick, and it was about where the concept of the future comes from. Because it's a fairly recent thing in Western literature. You like a couple of centuries back, the idea that the future might be a radically different place than today did not really exist.
Because most people's lifetimes, things didn't change remarkably, so there was no expectation of further change.
Yeah, like the biggest one was kind of Christian eschatology,
Yep.
right? Because, like, you know, there was this classical world, you got used to this idea that you were living in a fallen world, but not that you were going to go back to it.
Okay.
But maybe this is a world where people within living memory are like, you know, I remember a different place. And it clearly didn't work, but that doesn't mean that this has to be what we are now.
Okay. How'd you meet your familiar? Thank you for that, Cameron. Would you like a different question?
Yeah, because I feel like she just sort of like, I hadn't thought about that.
Weird that I would ask it.
Yeah.
Would you like a different question?
Yes, please.
Why magic? Why study? Why go through the rigors of what you did with as capricious as your character is? Why go through the study of magic?
She was... It gave structure to her life.
All right.
She is a capricious person, but she kind of like fell in with a bad crowd when she was a teenager, and she had like a bit of a knack for illusions and was a sneaky person, and turns out was really good at breaking into houses.
Okay.
And there were some people who, you know, took advantage of that for somebody who was young and impressionable. And
Yep.
she may have been the one who got caught.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so when she was, you know, sent to magic school to study magic, it gave her like a sort of a better sense of herself. It was like she could develop this sort of like innate skill that she has into something more developed and controlled and useful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. So was a rebellious gnome teen and then sent off to magical boarding school.
I mean, it wasn't like boarding school. Her parents weren't like rich. It was just like public school.
Okay. So
she went
within
to
the
Calvin
Warren.
Arunson High.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So wait, would this be in all gnomes or was this like
It's just like a Waterdeep magic school.
Okay, so it was a Waterdavian magic school, not within the Warren itself, but actually sent up to the surface to go and study with others.
Yeah, her parents
Okay.
lived on this. Her parents weren't like from the gnome.
From the Warrens. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All right. What do your parents do for a living?
Laborers.
Laborers? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, like day laborers and things like that, cleaning up from the latest dragon attack.
Yeah, that's
all
the
that fun
thing.
stuff.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Excellent. Okay. So we've got about 15 minutes left. Do any of you have any questions about each other's character that may help them with character creation when we do it when we're not on the bus? Or with the actual, like, mechanics of it?
What's Boom's relationship with his family like?
Horrible. Just terrible. Which is why crime. Yeah. Yep. Boom always had a knack for how to break and reconstruct any nascent clockwork or technology around him. Like, turned the family glockenspiel into like a little tank that would terrorize the family. Let's say displacer beast, because there's a family of bad choices. Yeah, but just a terrible relationship with the family. This was their rebellion, and they just kind of they came from a good home, but they rebelled and never stopped.
Okay.
Yeah, renamed themselves Boom when their original name was like, let's say Eli Fizzwhistle. Yeah.
I got a question for Bepis. How is Bepis in a fight? Like if something goes down, what does Bepis do?
I'm going to assume Bepis has never been in a fight in his life.
Okay.
Bepis is the kid who is in the back reading books, and he's just happy to be invited along when somebody's like, let's go out to the Rubble Belt and catch a show. And he'll come along and you know, because his family are cops, right? So he's not the coolest, but like they're fine. Like people don't mind them. They're not, you know, like some of the other cops around.
Okay.
But like still, like you're not going to invite Bepis to a good party. So Bepis has never been in a fight.
Okay.
And he'd probably be, but he has like he can defend himself, right?
Sure.
But like I don't think he's ever hurt anyone.
Okay.
So that will be fun.
Okay. All right. Excellent. All right.
Okay.
Very good question. Cameron, did you have any questions or anything else that you would like us to know about Isaac? This is going to be really interesting.
Yeah. Youngest sibling.
Youngest sibling? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How about practical skills? What do they like doing? Hobbies? All your characters.
Reading.
Reading? Okay. Got it. Really painting a picture here.
Yeah.
It was real good. No, not
good.
that's completely positive. Like really painting a picture of this really like nerdy going like, yeah, parents are cops, I'm kind of a cop. Was just doing tours and stuff and just like reading in the booth. Like
Yeah.
I get real
Yeah.
farm kid energy.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
that's what he
Yeah.
was designed as.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say that he's gone on this adventure because he was taking a bus into town to go shopping. Because
Okay.
they have better bookstores and other stuff that his family needs there, and Bepis is responsible, so he's not going to spend too much of it on like candy, right? So he'll bring stuff back.
Wasn't particularly paying attention to the conveyance they'd gotten on because they were busy reading, perhaps?
Well, yeah, maybe, because there's only supposed to be one bus that goes through Purianda.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't even show up every day. It's every like 3 days or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yep. Yeah. But this one just kind of showed up early. Hey, great.
Yeah, he
Beautiful.
saw the bus there. He was
Yep.
at Tourist Information Booth, and he went, oh, wow, it's like an hour and a half early. That's weird, but I'm not going to miss it.
Yeah. And you definitely didn't. And you just kind of got on and sat down in this beautiful wheelless coach.
Yeah, well, the coaches in Ravnica, like the one that goes out here, is like being pulled by a big beast of burden. So I assume it has a very soothing kind of like motion, and it's easy to fall asleep on these buses. But also, it takes like, how long did I say it would take to get out there? Like 8 hours or something?
Something like that.
It was
yeah.
just all day. So, you know, you're used to being able, if you're from there, you'd be used to be able to drift off and have a nap.
Beautiful. All right. All right. And as you got on the bus, you just see very, very briefly one of the Beasts of Burden's name tags says Jocko. How did you end up on some sort of conveyance? Where were you off to? What were you doing?
She might have just been going home for the day.
All right. From where? School?
School? She's out of school now.
Okay.
She does some work for people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's vague.
People who find her previous skills as a thief useful.
I see.
Who might keep little harps pinned on their shirts.
Okay. She
Yeah.
does some work for some people.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. All
She
right.
was just heading home for the day on her commute home
On her commute home?
and fell asleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Just in a just regular coach and carriage.
Yeah.
Just exhausted from the day's labor,
Yes.
shall we say? All right. Just got in a random coach and took off.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. I didn't really get a clear view of who the driver was, but the coach is just a beautiful, beautiful yellow color. Nice,
Yeah.
nice blue, and you were like, oh, this seems good. flipped him a silver.
Sure.
Yep, told him to take, and then just kind of fell asleep. There was somebody else on the coach, but you just kind of
Yeah.
fell right asleep. Isaac, how did you tell me some sort of mode of transportation that you would get around, and what circumstance led you to this particular time?
Well, in Isaac's world, collapsed or ruined or heavily squatted in or still functional megastructures exist from this, dying or failing civilization. And they would need some way of getting between them. So, entirely possible that some kind of mass transit system still exists.
Okay.
And that would be something that would be recognizable to him. Even if its exact function is elusive. I mean, I can't disassemble an automatic transmission, but I can operate one.
Is this system operated by sentient people, or just does it run automatically?
It runs automatically.
It runs automatically?
Yeah.
Ah, excellent. Like a mag lift, almost?
Yeah, sure, a magical mag lift.
Yeah.
Would be a good way of
Okay,
putting it.
magical mag lift system. Excellent. Good. And did you enter this particular conveyance going from where to where? From whence to whence? Does Isaac travel?
From someplace he was bored with to someplace that hopefully would be more interesting.
Ah. So is he getting on one of these automated things going somewhere that he doesn't know whether or not it's actually populated?
Yeah.
Ah. So he went in with the intention of, take me somewhere new and away from this place.
Yes.
Maybe it just goes through a tunnel.
Yeah, maybe it just stops. Who knows?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, it seems your wishes were granted, and there were other people on this conveyance that had perhaps similar thoughts somewhere in their heart.
Yeah, exactly. These are still useful structures. They keep out the rain, right? People are going to live in them.
Yes.
One thing that always bothered me in fantasy settings where I was like, oh, look at this ruin that nobody is in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way. There's no way.
Yeah,
There's
I'm gonna
no
sleep
way
in this tent when there's a perfectly good apartment building over there.
Yeah, you would just be like, that's Moria. There were people living in there up until a generation ago. You say friend, the door opens, and then it closes again. Guess where we're camping?
All of you are awoken by a loud explosion, the opening of the door of your particular conveyance before you can kind of get your settings and bearings, and a very ugly tin can flies in, landing and skidding down the aisle. The door shuts. He sits up. Whew! That was fun. Where are we going? And tomorrow, who's taking over?
Me.
Excellent. Well, first session's going to be yours, and that's where we kind of end off, and that's where you can pick up tomorrow.
All right.
All right.
Sounds great.
Excellent. And everybody has enough information to kind of put their characters together and get all the stats and stuff ready?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Good. I'm going to be using D&D Beyond, so I'll have. I actually brought some of my dice here. Everybody bring some dice tomorrow for when we do this. Cam's going to be running. Is there anything that you would like to say just as a beginning or a setup or a little taste for tomorrow before we wrap? You could say no.
I don't know how to describe exactly what I have in mind right now,
All right.
but I will post
Great. Where?
the Slack for our
Excellent.
purposes.
For our purposes,
But
and
chat-
then for tomorrow.
Chat can figure it out as it goes on.
Okay.
Surprises are for chat, not for us.
Okay. Perfect.
Good.
So we hope you tune in tomorrow for the continuation of this beautiful campaign, which we are calling... Yeah, names are hard.
We
Names
did not
are
think this
hard.
far ahead.
No.
Why
Yeah.
did we not think this
Didn't
far
we have a
ahead?
name for this segment?
Oh, we have a name for the segment, yeah, but not
The
like a name for a campaign name. How about tomorrow we get chat to fill us in?
That sounds like a
Absolutely.
great idea.
Good. Beautiful. D and Desert Bus Alpha Fight. Yeah, it's probably not going to be a lot of fight. Everybody wants to avoid combat.
I like D and Desert Bus.
I like D and Desert Bus, but you know what? We can come up with a different name every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
Sure.
Good. And
Sounds
then
great.
if there ends up being a meta narrative, we'll coin it at the end.
That sounds
Fantastic.
good.
Yes? Excellent. We will coin it in the end, and I think that idea is absolutely mint. This has been session 0 of Unnamed Alpha Flight Campaign. We hope you tune in tomorrow. I don't know why I'm wrapping it up like this. We're not going anywhere. Force a habit.
It's for the VST.
For the VST, thank you very much. This is for the VST. Really appreciate you saving my bacon there. Good. Tune in tomorrow for more of this campaign with Cameron as the, what would you like your title to be?
You know, I'm fine with Dungeon Master for Dungeons
Dungeon
and
Master?
Dragons.
For Dungeon Master for Dungeons and Dragons.
Let's keep it in the wheelhouse.
Marvelous. We will keep it
Fantastic.
in the wheelhouse. Excellent.
Great.
Thank you very, very much, everybody.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank
I
you
love
for running that.
all of your concepts very, very much.
Thank you for facilitating today.
Hey, thanks for letting me reuse one.
Huh?
Thanks
Oh God, yeah, no, it's yeah. I'm a facilitator, not an arbiter. Yeah, cool, excellent. I have there's too much power sitting in this chair.